a couple of the biggest things going on right now, and the most recent is news on the new Anderson County Detention Center. Let's bring people up to date on how that was moving along and what's changed.
Well, now it appears that the jail committee or detention facilities committee has approved going forward with a 608 bed unit. One time we were looking for it to be all on one level, but now we found out that we can save money and reduce the amount of land we use, plus retain land for future growth if we go up. And so we have some pictures of what it would look like, and so we're moving along with that. We're also, and which we've always intended to do, was provide a place for federal prisoners. The city of Anderson has done it for years. It's a good source of revenue to help pay for the new jail. So we'll be doing that. Plus, the newest part of the old jail we're going to keep so we can house juveniles there. Right now, if we have a juvenile who's locked up, we have to take that juvenile to Columbia. And that requires 2 officers going down there, usually about an hour to book them in and 2 hours back. Those are 2 officers who aren't in Anderson County. If they have to come back for a trial date, then we have to go get them and bring them back. Greenville doesn't do juveniles anymore, neither does Pickens, neither does Oconee or Abbeville. So we believe that if we open up this juvenile unit, instead of people having to go to Columbia for that, they will bring those juveniles here, which would be another revenue stream that we can use.
Plus, and the newest part of the old jail was built in early '90s. It's not the ancient piece. It's the new part.
It's nice. It's well maintained and in good shape. So we could easily upfit that to do what we need to do there. But also in the new jail, we're going to have space for a court, so we can get people in and out quicker there, a magistrate's court. And we're also going to have space to do things that we haven't been able to do, like some training, mental health spaces and things like that. We're also going to try to do a better job of segregating people who might have mental health issues than now, and that needs to happen. So the jail committee's working on all of that, and pretty much we expect to have final plans sometime in January or February.
And the cost estimates are going to vary widely based on the cost of materials and stuff. Right now it's like $72 million. Is that what we're looking at?
About $72 million.
And just, I know this is very intricate, but give people sort of a huge flyover of what the bond issue, how that works.
Well, the bond issue we did originally was for $55 million, and to do what we want is going to cost more. We paid off a bond, so we were able to insert that amount in there without increasing taxes. With these other new revenue streams I just mentioned, if we need additional money, which we will, that we will tap into another bond to do that again, not with a tax increase, because it will all be paid for through those other sources. Plus, we have other things in there that we're building it to be energy efficient, so we know that we're going to get money back from Duke Energy. We don't know how much money that is until the thing is completely designed. So it's moving along like it should, so we'll be happy with 608 beds. And it will be designed that if we add on in the future, the base building would support anything we added on in the future, because all of the kitchen necessary to support that would be in place. All of the electrical would be in place. All of that would be in place. So when you add it on, you basically just be doing construction, not building a whole new kitchen and a whole new system of all of that. So that's where we are as of that meeting that we had this week, which was a public meeting.
And the 608, it gives them a little bit of breathing room, right?
It gives us breathing room. Right now we're rated for somewhere around 250. We have up to 350, sometimes 400. We have looked into the future to see how much more we're going to need, and so we're doing that. But also, a jail is a jail. But we're also establishing, as you well know, that mental health court, which hopefully will be up and running in 5 to 6 months. Some of those people don't need to be in jail. We're also working...
They certainly don't need to be mixed in with violent prisoners and stuff.
No. And we're also working on another avenue for a early intervention center, if you will. So we're looking at doing that in partnership with other groups. So instead of having to go directly to the emergency room or directly to the jail, you can go there. I mean, you may be having a family member's having a temporary episode and need some help. But also what this would do is not only try to provide some immediate help, but also hook you up into the system where you could get continuous help. Because I think one of the biggest crises in the country right now is mental health. Everybody knows that. Everybody knows that. And there are not enough resources out there to deal with it. It's almost impossible. So hopefully we'll be taking those steps and bring that to fruition. And we hope to use a large portion of our opioid money from the opioid settlements to do these things.
And the jail design is also being built with better coverage in mind. They can do more with fewer employees in terms of watching.
We can do more with fewer employees. Right now, I think we only have 4 openings at our detention center, which is incredible, because if you look at all the other detention centers across the state, they're begging for detention officers, literally begging for them. So I have to give Captain David Baker a lot of credit for providing an environment for them to want to come to work for the jail. But it also helps that they know in the future, instead of the horrible conditions they work in now, they're going to be working in a brand new facility, which is going to make the detention officers' jobs much easier and much safer. And that's a big concern to the county council, because they don't want county employees risking their lives to do their job on a daily basis.
And we're seriously into the budget season now. Before we start talking about the budget, can you give people just a Chamber of Commerce overview of what services the county does provide?
Roads and bridges, we do that on 1,500 miles of county road. We run our award-winning EMS program, which the citizens pay for through the EMS millage. But what we do, when our paramedics go, we don't charge you for that. You've already paid for that. So I think that's making a big difference, helping people. We also work with AIM to do housing rehabilitation and provide rental assistance. We do that through federal funds. We partner with a whole lot of people in Anderson County to try to make things in Anderson County better. AIM, we partner with the United Way, various other organizations that we assist. Tomorrow, Councilman Glenn Davis has his leadership for youth tour tomorrow, so we'll be going to the airport, to the 911 center, and to the jail. We also pick up all of the trash in Anderson County comes to Anderson County. And Greg Smith's probably the most knowledgeable person on solid waste in South Carolina, in addition to running that and running all the recycling programs that we have. And we make money on those recycling programs that allows us not to have to increase our solid waste fee. So not only are you helping to save the planet, but you're also helping our own tax bills every time that we recycle. And cardboard's doing real well right now, and plastics are getting better, and metal's good. So all of those things are running, and we're one of the few places that still take glass for recycling. I mean, there's some places, and this is a fact, where they have recycling bins, and they take those recycling bins directly to the landfill. And they've even done interviews with them. Why do you do that? Well, we want to encourage it. Well, you're not going to encourage it when they found out that you're hauling it to the landfill and they're taking the time to separate their stuff and doing it right. I had an instance this week, not to me, but for a fellow who works here with me. He said, Rusty, this man just came up to me when I was putting cardboard out at the recycling center and congratulated me. I said, did he work with us? He said, no, he was a citizen. And he said, do you know that because of cardboard recycling, Sunoco, the big packaging company in Hartsville, now only uses 20% of their base material from trees. So just interesting things like that. But, so we do that. I mean, the county pays for the library. The county runs the court system.
There's a lot of things going on in the library right now.
Yes.
Updates around the county. Yeah.
And we have to maintain the DSS building and all of those other buildings. We'll fund the sheriff's department.
Public safety is the big one, isn't it?
Public safety is the biggest ticket item we have, and our sheriff's department does an excellent job. Sometimes you can't remember everything that you have going on. I mean, we handle all stormwater in Anderson County. The areas that are zoned, we handle that. Those that aren't zoned, we handle land use on that. We provide information to lots of people. We get grants. We run the airport. One of the things, a lot of places have a lot of boards and commissions who run different things. Our council runs pretty much most everything. So they have direct input, hands-on that. Like we run Parks and Recreation. We've opened up another park this year, one that the Corps closed. So we're opening that back up. We have to maintain those. We are doing work at Dolly Cooper Park. We've green-lighted the new playground at the airport. We're real excited about that because it's going to be aviation themed. We've got lots of requests in for money for other parks in the counties that we can begin to do something. We're trying to spruce up our cricket field. We're working on our ball fields. So just all kinds of things. The county runs the Civic Center, so we do that. And it's used just about every day of the week. Somebody in Green Pond the other day, we had a request. A person asked me and said, I'd like to have a fishing tournament at Green Pond one weekend. And I said, the next open date is after Memorial Day. That's the next open date for that. So there's something going on here all the time. And I know I'm leaving some things out. I mean, plus we have the legal department here who handles all that. You know, we have human resources. We have a grants department. We run the television station. And
as the population grows, the demand for these services intensifies. So what challenges is council facing moving into, because the budget, they're going to have a budget to look at here in the next 6 or 8 weeks.
Yeah, the biggest challenges in the county are road paving. And thanks to the Anderson County Transportation Committee, we've been able to pave some roads, and some more will start to be paved right now. One of the problems you have right now is there are not as many paving companies as there used to be. I mean, right now it's getting to be very small number of people who do paving. So not in addition to the money factor, who can do it? That's a big problem. The other thing that is occupying a lot of time is because people moving here is land use. A lot of time is spent on that. We have a whole development standards department. We have a building codes department, and building codes inspects all the new buildings, plus people call in with rundown houses. We go address those. We also have a demolition program. All of those things are increasing because the population is increasing. So you have roads, you have land use, and there's a huge push for recreation, a huge push across the county for recreation. And so if you ask me what's the big 3 things on people's minds, those are the ones that we hear a lot about, because I'm telling you, people are moving every second.
And so as the budget moves forward, is it looking like they can keep taxes down again? Or
yes.
No tax increase in the works or not?
Our Anderson County Council is adverse to increasing taxes. We've been able to take the jail, for instance. Well, where's that money come from? The dreaded word, fee in lieu of. When we do a fee in lieu of deal, we capture part of that money and put it in a special pot. Because we've been so blessed with economic development, that pot has grown, which allows us to do that. So we want to keep that pot growing. We're looking at things at the airport. Right now we have a waiting list for people who want to base their planes at the airport of about 150 people. So we're looking at the possibility. Some people are looking to build private hangars out there. We encourage that. We also want to do more development out there. and we run the County Economic Development Office. So we do that all the time. And also, the county runs the Convention and Visitor Center Bureau. You just got a press release today on we're bringing people who run welcome centers from all over the country to Anderson. So that's going to be an economic boost. So it's something big every day. And we're also working with a lot of huge commercial entities. I'm not talking about just regular things. I'm talking about signature things. So we're working through some problems on some of those to allow those to come here. And I know they will be extremely popular in Anderson. We're still working on the intersection up at Buc-ee's. They've done environmental work up there. They've done some pre-construction work. We are also waiting for them to do some work on Clemson Boulevard. That's SCDOT. We're also looking up at TTI at that exit ramp to try to relieve some pressure up there. So we're also building a wastewater treatment plant in conjunction with Clemson and the city of Pendleton. And we run the sewer operations in the unincorporated areas of the county. And hopefully after many, many years, and we're getting close, we will have the exit 14 opened up, and we're looking to go further than that. But exit 14, when that opens up, I think you'll see a huge explosion there. So we're excited about that.
You've been around Anderson almost as long as I have, a long time. But have you ever seen as much buzz from these places that we said, why don't we have this here? Have you ever had that many requests as you've been getting recently?
No.
As much attention?
No, we haven't. But we had visitors here yesterday. It was two people that were camping and they were wandering around. And they came in the courthouse and they said, well, would it be all right to come look at the courtroom? And I just happened to be standing there. I said, sure, because, I'm a history nut. So we went up there and had a good time. And they said, and they're from Atlanta, and they said, well, y'all got everything we got, except not all the traffic. And they really liked it here, and they were touring around and anything. But all of those things that you used to have to go somewhere, pretty soon you won't have to go anywhere. But the thing is, I want people from everywhere else to come here. I want them to come across the Savannah River to come here to shop. I want them to come from Pickens and Oconee to shop. I want them to come from Abbeville and Greenwood. I want all of those people to come here and spend their money in Anderson. That's what the council wants to have happen. Come spend your money here. Help us out. We're really friendly people.
Talking about one of the keys, recreation, we've got some pretty big events coming up. The Rhythm in the Park, that's become a pretty big...
It's a big event up in Powdersville at Dolly Cooper Park. I think it'll be bigger than it was last year, and it was big last year. So you've got that coming up. We've also got, thanks to Upcountry Fiber, which is a partnership between Blue Ridge Electric and WCTEL, you've got their big concert coming up. So we've got that coming up.
Any other concerts coming?
Oh, yeah, we've got a couple on the horizon. One, for Celebrate, I think people are going to be really, really, really happy at Celebrate Anderson this year.
When can you announce that one?
Well, when they tell me I can. Okay. Because we have to let the artist will tell us when we can. But I think people are going to be really excited about that. I bet that place will be absolutely packed.
And of course, the Saluda River Rally's coming. We'll talk about that more next time. But that whole Saluda corridor in Anderson County has become a pretty big deal for tourism.
That's become a big deal. We had a meeting last week with Greenville because we're very active on promoting the Saluda River. So some of our people went and met with some of their people over there to get them excited. Former Representative Wes Cox got a grant to build the old footbridge back in Piedmont. Well, part of it's in Anderson and part of it's in Greenville. Seeing if we can have a partnership. It's really something I've warmed up to is the possibility of building that bridge. Plus, we're also looking, hopefully, if we get the money that we've requested, that we can do something with the old bridge over there. Maybe even have a sidewalk cafe that's right there at Dolly Cooper Park. So a whole lot of things that we're pushing over in that area and a whole lot of things that are fixing to happen after a lot of stuff. We are also hoping that we will receive final funding thanks to our legislative delegation. We already got $500,000 for the Saluda River Park. We're hoping we get the other $500,000 plus so we can actually begin work and put that in operation. So we were sharing that with the people in Greenville. I think they were excited, and I don't think they knew everything that we were doing in ways that we could partner with them because the other side of the Saluda River is theirs. So we're excited about that going. We're excited about the trail grant the city put in for. We're excited about the East-West Parkway nearing completion. We'd love to have trails everywhere. I mean, people are already using that trail. They're walking it from one end to the other, and it's not even completed. So you have that going. And yes, what do? We also fund the coroner's office, and we work with the coroner's office every day on what they do because the county funds that. So,
and the recreation, the county must be getting pretty close to announcing all the recreation plans for each district. Each councilman did a study in their district, right?
Yes, they did, and so we'll see. And those were driven by people in the community. This was a bottoms-up exercise as opposed to a top-down.
Series of meetings.
Yes, public meetings, more than one, and we'll get some good ideas on what people want.
When are they going to announce those plans?
Probably in about a month or two, but pickleballs, if it was up to the pickleball people, there would be no tennis courts, no basketball courts. It would just be pickleball. Yeah. We have 2 tournaments.
Rex Maynard's not going to let them.
No, you're not. But we have, I think, 2 tournaments this weekend, pickleball tournaments out at the Civic Center. And, Williamston has their wonderful new facility. So just a huge demand for that. And more soccer fields. We definitely need more soccer fields. But people, this is a large county geographically, now becoming a large county in numbers. But we have to do a lot of work up at Wren Hurricane Springs Park, and we're beginning to do that work up there. We got pickleball courts up there, but there's so much more we need to do. We're probably very close to putting the new playground equipment in Dolly Cooper Park, so we're working on that. And that's really taking shape after sitting there vacant for all those years. So we're getting that done.
How about in the Pendleton area, which has suddenly outpaced every other part of the county in growth?
Yes, but Pendleton has Pendleton Recreation Department. I know that they're exploring some options to beef that up.
Get the old doghouse open again.
Well, where I spent 30 years of my life until I retired, went on the permanent injured reserve list. But yes, they're looking at that. Tri-County Tech's very instrumental in trying to do something with that. A lot of things happening in Pendleton, but a lot of things, I talked to developers this week, a lot of things happening in the Belton area. And a lot of things happen in Williamston, Pelzer, Piedmont, Powdersville, all of those areas. Just about every part's growing, and it's beginning to reach into every section of the county, and we're excited about that because we just think, it's the county council's job to look after the whole county. And plus, you talk about what else we do. We work with every one of our towns. I think we have an excellent relationship. We're working with School District 3, the town of Iva, and the Anderson County Library to build that new library or renovate a space right on
It's a nice space, too.
Renovate a space in Iva for that new library, a brand new spanking modern library. And we're real excited about that and thank our legislative delegation for helping fund that a whole lot. They do a lot of work to help us. Senator Gamble's been real generous helping us with these projects. And
upfitting the Belton Library as well.
And they're working on the Belton Library, so all of that's going on.
Well, and you talked about the council. One of the biggest things they've done recently is the official launch of the Clean Anderson campaign. A new try to clean up the litter in the county.
Well, for a long time we would have so many litter events people wouldn't know about it. And so now we have a central website where you can go look and see if you want to participate in this one or that one or the other. We've always had where you could use our app and tell us where litter is. There are a lot of changes in litter things. The county's fixing to hire, we have a vacant position, a code enforcement officer, which is going to take a little bit off of the litter officer so they can concentrate more on litter, and this person will handle abandoned houses, citizens' complaints, and things like that.
And yeah, just since you mentioned it, remind people what the county's already doing for litter.
Well, we have litter officers that patrol every section of Anderson County. We have 2 crews from the Sheriff's Department that go out and pick up litter 5 days a week, and we're hoping that we could possibly get a 3rd litter crew. I'll have to give Greg Smith credit again. Finally, the state of South Carolina, who has 1,250 miles of road in Anderson County, is now actually cleaning up the state highways. In the past, they said they would, and they would once a year, but now it's a monthly activity of picking up litter, and that's going to make a difference.
And the county's able to direct them what parts.
We can tell them that, look, this is where you need to go, and they're receptive to that. So we're very pleased with that.
How about economic development? Any news?
Well, we've got a new company that's in essence already here, but we can't announce it yet. It's 100 jobs, and we're really happy about that. And as usual, we got a lot of other people looking. We got a lot of people expanding. And we got a lot of things. We're waiting on equipment to come in.
Still waiting on the air conditioner at the Civic Center?
I mean, about every 2 weeks they send us a notice it'll be another 2 weeks. We're having to put a temporary air conditioner out there because we don't know when they're going to get it. Obviously, this last piece is on some boat in the Pacific Ocean, and they can't find the United States. I don't know what it is. So, but that's been a pain, a big pain.
Does that slow down other projects around the county as well?
On our sewer systems, to get pumps, the back order, I mean, it's just crazy how long it takes to get a new pump for a sewer system. The exit 14 that I talked to you about, for all practical purposes, it's done except for the pumps that we can't get. And it's not because we didn't order them a long time ago. So,
what will happen to those 11 and 14 once they're fully lined up with water and sewer?
14, I already know what's going to go at exit 14. It's going to blow sky high. It is going to, I mean, you got hotels wanting to go there. You have everything wanting to go there right now. It's not a matter of, well, boy, they might come. They are coming right there. And if we could get those pumps, we would be ahead of the game. Plus, we're in the process all the time of upgrading everything that we have, because some of our stuff's been in the ground for many, many, many years. Derek Singleton does a fantastic job of running our sewer system, and of course he's been doing it since he was 12 years old, so he pretty much knows where everything is.
And I guess one other thing that is about to kick off the early part, the craft market, the farmers market is about to launch here in a couple of weeks.
Yep, Ms. Sharon Nicometto does an outstanding job running the farmers market. She's supposed to run the farmers market and sell vegetables, but then she comes up, she wants to have a craft market. This is her. And then she says, like at Christmas, well, I want to have the Christmas fair. So she's absolutely awesome. She does a wonderful job. Again, we'll have music down there, you know, on Saturdays. And so we're looking for a really good farmers market this year, a craft market, and the Christmas market. And you've got a lot of new young farmers coming in, and we're really excited about that because we've had some people who've been there forever, and we want them to stay there forever, but it's good to see some young farmers coming in.
You only live so long, too.
Can only live so long. So we've got that coming. Yeah, and the county runs the farmers market too.
And I always ask you this: any chance of getting one downtown?
I have to talk with Miss Nicometto about that.
Okay, so it's in the discussion still.
It's always in discussion. So far, she's winning. We're all looking forward to the soiree coming up. We think that's going to be a good time, and hopefully we can announce some more concerts out at the Civic Center here very quickly. Some not country. Time to look in some other avenues, and so that's happening, but that's being done by private promoters, and it's because of that new stage. And we've been
You get a lot more calls because of that stage?
Yeah, you get a lot more calls because of that stage. And then we've also received some really good advice on some things new. They're putting up new lighting at Civic Center right now. If you've been out there, you'll see all the trucks out there putting in that new lighting up there. So there's something going on everywhere that the county's doing something.